Overwrite default lib64 of ld-linux-x86-64.so.2 to call executables. I need a newer glib than my system provides for a binary I want to run. So I have a directory my_libs with most lib files from a recent Ubuntu, including the new glib, lib.so.6. Now I exported ld_library_path skeptical smiley my_libs column.ld_library_path and try to run my executable. That will crash with segfault. In fact, every binary will crash now with segfault, even simple things like bin ls. So I guess some mix-up between different libs from the my_libs and my main system. I traced with ld_debug equals libs or ld_debug equals all and resolved everything except of ld-linux-x86-64.so.2. No matter what I did so far, it always used lib64 of ld-linux-x86-64.so.2 and not my_libs ld-linux-x86-64.so.2. Is there a way to set the path for ld-linux? As I understood, that library, which is also an executable, is always used to run any program, and my environment uses lib64 of ld-linux-x86-64.so.2. If I directly run my_libs ld-linux-x86-64.so.2 bin ls, it works. I can also execute my new binary that way. I just have to be sure that all libs are provided in a my_libs, or that the libs from the system are compatible. So, what can I do that just calling bin ls directly will use my_libs ld-linux-x86-64.so.2? Some related discussion is here. Note that I don't want to patch bin ls or other binaries to make that work.
TLDR, if you need to keep using multiple versions of lib, like many of us do, then a key utility to use is patchelf. Normally, if all you want is to force your own version of the program interpreter when you build your own program, all you need to do is to compile with the following options. But this does not work with third-party utilities and with some shared objects, which are however executable all by themselves, so you invoke patchelf on a given elf program as follows. The reason why this is not just a matter of editing with an hex editor the old executable and overwriting the old interpreter address with the new one is that the two need not be the same length. Patchelf takes care of enlarging your executable for you. You can also change the path variable as follows. I find this much handier than using the usual wrappers around commands with ld_library_path. As for exec, it must be just about the most fundamental system call in Unix. Exec, file name, executes the given file name. For instance, your shell executes a command by means of a call of the exec family. It first forks, then the child process thus generated executes the command, ls, td, you name it. Most programs need dynamically linked libraries, for instance for ls. When you load ls, it is not the binary normal entry point which is used at first, but ld-linux instead. It takes care of loading all the unresolved, required libraries, and then it transfers control to the real application, ls in this case. It does this by executing the program file. I am unable to say why exactly your program crashes, but I would try checking that all programs invoked require the same program interpreter. You do this by checking the output of The emphasis is mine. Edit, an excellent discussion by one of the authors of the execviat system call can be found here, and the relevant kernel code is here. The code shows that no system variable is read, and the routine load_elf_binary looks at the program interpreter pt_interp.